All right, welcome to everyone to the next part in this Outsourcing Your Niche series. Thank you very much for taking your time out to come and check this out and also to be participating in this webinar. For the people who have been here consecutive for the last 4 weeks, a big congratulations and a big pat on the back for staying with it. And I hope that you have been following all the action steps and taking along all the information that I've been and applying it, because the whole idea between spreading all this the outsourcing your niche series out is so that each week you can just take progress on doing bit by bit and implementing what I teach you. All right, before we do get started, I just want to get a quick response from everyone that you can see my screen and also hear me clearly. I just want to make sure that I'm loud and clear and also that people can actually see what's happening. Otherwise, if I proceed and no one can see anything, then you'd be in trouble. So if you wouldn't mind, on the right hand side you've got a little panel that says questions. Feel free just to put in yes, and I'm getting some responses. People can see, fantastic, and also can hear me as well. Now, the other thing I want to mention as well, if you do have a question along the way, feel free to pop it into that questions box, which is on the right hand side in your GoToWebinar control panel, and I'll do my best to answer at the end. And as always, at the end of every session, I allow for that time to answer any of the questions that you may have. So feel free just to pop them in there and I'll answer them at the end. All right, so in today's topic, I'm going to be talking about traffic generation. And I've had to split this up into two parts. I wouldn't be surprised if I might even have to split up into 3 parts. The reason being is because there's quite a lot to cover in this particular topic. And in order to be able to generate any obviously customers or viewers to your blog, you need to find ways to generate or to attract them to your blog or to your website first. And this is why this topic is a very big topic, and it's a topic that a lot of people do ask about quite often. And I do get these questions about traffic generation, and there's so many different strategies, and I'm going to share with you the same strategies that I've been using myself and also my team, and also within the niche site coaching that I've been doing with Pat Flynn. And a majority of this material is already available on Pat's and my site as well when we're doing the niche site Duel challenge. So it's basically, if you want to have a look at it, you can go back, but I'm going to be going through it in quite a bit of detail here. So before we get into it, I want to just do a quick recap of what's happened last week. So that way you can see exactly where we're up to right now. And also I should welcome to the people who've just come onto the call if you haven't been on the last 4 weeks or so. So let me recap on what's been happening. Over the last 4 weeks, we've been doing quite a bit actually. You've actually been watching and seeing from stage 1, which is to find a niche market. And as I said, if you haven't seen these videos, go back to the first one, which is available on my blog. I've had 1,000+ people view that video, and it's been a very popular video as well. The second video that I did, or webinar that I did, was to set up your profitable domain. Basically, I went up into detail about setting up your niche site, and through that you saw exactly where to go. So I referred you to use a hosting service, which would only cost you a few dollars a month, and also set up your WordPress blog. Then in the third week, I talked about which of the top 15 tools to install. And these were to help you optimize. Now, make sure that you have done all this. Otherwise, there's no point for me to teach you how to drive traffic to a nothing site. So you need to have these things implemented first. And then just last week, I talked about how to write really good content. So how to content create. So last week was pretty important because I talked about getting 5 articles done. And I showed you exactly how to get these articles, where to find the content, and as per every single webinar, I've talked about using Market Samurai to do that. So you can get a copy of Market Samurai from testmarketsamurai.com, which is a fantastic piece of software to be able to help you there. Now, this week, actually, I won't be even using Market Samurai, but I will be talking a little bit about it during the course of these traffic generations. In this week's, I'm going to be actually giving it a very, very much in detail overview of how this strategy works. So in today's webinar, the most important thing for you to understand is how it works. And today's webinar, which is the 5th, is all about traffic strategy. Okay. So before I do jump into this, I better actually take a step back and explain to you some basic principles. Some of you may already know this, and some of you may have no idea because it's brand new to you, and that's great. So I'm catering for both markets here. All right, so the first thing I want to go through with you is talk a little bit more about backlinking. People might not know what it is, and people might know what it is, and that's fine. If you do know what it is, just stick with me so that I can explain to you what it is. The first thing is, let's just put here, what is backlinking? Now, on Google, which is what we're going to be using Google to actually drive traffic. And also we're going to be using other means as well. There's so many different other sites as well that I'm going to show you. But primarily, instead of paying for traffic, I'm going to be getting a lot of free traffic available all from Google and also from a lot of other sites as well that's on the internet. And that's the whole strategy that we're going to be using, is using free traffic. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there don't want to pay or spend money on advertising or marketing, and that's fair enough. I'm the same. And this strategy has worked, but it does take a bit of time. Okay. The other thing I just want to mention as well is once you have this strategy in place, it will last you for a long time. It's not like just a one night over thing that you just get traffic instantly. Whereas if you were to pay money to get advertising, it only happened once, and then once you finish paying it, that'd be over, and you have to pay again to get it over and over again. This strategy continuously works. So the question I've raised is, what is backlinking? And let me just explain to you in a diagram. Google refers to your site in a few different factors. Just pretend this is your site that you've created here for your niche website. And basically, what will happen is that Google will look at your site and base it on a few criteria. Usually they look at, the first one would probably be, how much content do you have? How much content, that's the first one. And obviously that's the reason why I talked quite heavily last week about creating up-to-date regular content and posting it onto your site. 2, they want to see how many links in your site as well, on your site. And basically, obviously, the more links to your site and also in your site, that is definitely a good thing. And pretty much, if you want to understand how links work, is basically if you have many sites out on the internet linking back to your site, it basically means that every single link is a vote, okay, a vote back to your site saying that it's a popular site. So the more links that you have going back to your site, the better it is, okay? And that's the thing that we just got to understand. And when we refer to backlinks, these are links that are coming from other sites back to your sites, and that's why it's called backlinks. Now, with these backlinks, it basically means that it's just a vote of popularity, if you want to put it that way. Say you're back at school and people were voting you to become either a prefect or school captain or into a popularity contest. Obviously, the more votes that you got, just like any election out there, the more popular you are, the more chances that you'll get the position. Same thing here. If you have more votes, which is more backlinks directly coming from outside sites, not your site, listed on, and people can see that through Google. Sorry, if Google can see that from you, then the more popular your site is, therefore there's a high chance that you'll get a higher ranking. Okay. So that's really the 2 criteria that we're going to be looking at. And I think the most important thing is just for you to understand the basic principle and concept. There are other factors as well, such as on-site optimization, which I briefly did discuss about in week 3. Whoops. Yes, on-site search engine optimization, which is that. And I did discuss about installing those tools, the top 15 tools that I refer to. Make sure those are installed, because what will happen is that we'll be using that from time to time, and I'll show you some optimization techniques in there. Besides that, we're going to be looking at other things that will be there, but the most important thing today is going to be this, part 2, which is how many links on your site. And I'll explain to you how that whole strategy works. Now, the other thing I just want to mention as well, not only do you have more backlinks, which is basically quantity, it's the quality as well that is very, very important. So as I mentioned, quantity, which is the more the better, but also too, the quality of these links are very, very important as well. What do I mean by quality? Basically, if you look at any site that's out there and it has, say, for example, a PageRank, which is just a term that Google uses, which in short terms is PR, PageRank. It's just like a little metric or a little term that describes what Google ranks your site as being. So if you don't know what PR is, a 0 is usually a very low ranking, a 10 is extremely high ranking. So if you sit anywhere in between there, ideally between 5 to 6, it means that your site is a very high authority. Now, an example is somebody like Facebook is, I think, sitting currently at about 9, PageRank 9. And that means that they're very, very popular, and also there's obviously a lot of people using it. And that's very much the reason why Facebook is pretty much well known. So the higher the PageRank, the better. And what we're going to be looking at is the higher the quality of the PageRank, the better it is for your site. This is just basically what is a basic backlinking. Now I'm going to just jump into and describe firstly to you what are some quality backlinks, so that way you can see and understand the importance of it as well. Then I'll show you the strategy of how we're going to do this. All right, so the first part is, let's have a look at what are quality backlinks and where they come from as well. Okay. And I'm seeing a few questions coming in, or a few comments coming in about links. So I appreciate that, Terry. I'll check it out and we'll respond to it in the Q&A. But let's have a look. Quality backlinks. What are they and where can you find them? The first thing is you want to have a look at the sites with high PageRank. As I said, high PageRank sites are obviously the ones that you want to get from. And e.g., as I said, Facebook is a very high PageRank site. Squidoo, etc. Now, I'm just going to let you know, it's not very easy to be able to get a link directly back from Facebook, but something like Squidoo is possible. So you want to be able to target those sites with a high PageRank first. That will start you off. Another place that you can find good PageRank sites are basically education and government sites. So these sites normally get a high ranking, and Google sees these sites as being effective. So if you can get a link back from the education or government site, you'll be pretty well off with regards to that, and it does help with your ranking on your niche site. I can also tell you that sometimes these are not the easiest to get, because you'll have to obviously contact the government departments or education departments from the IT side to be able to get access to them. But once you get access to them and ask them to give you a link, it actually does help with your site. Another very, very good form is blogs. And obviously blogs are the reason why a lot of sites out there are very, very popular. And I'm not referring to just individual authority blogs, but I'm also referring to big, large blog networks such as WordPress. So most people know WordPress. Something like LiveJournal. So that's just a few examples there. Also a few other sites that I've mentioned as well already, like Facebook Squidoo, Web 2.0 sites. These sites can also incorporate such as hub pages and a few other ones as well. Good point there, Weebly as well. Thanks for that, Tim. Yeah, there's a few sites that I've actually got listed out here, so I'll obviously share these with you too. And article directories. So these are very, very good as well too. Apparently with the most recent update from Google, some article directories have been hit quite hard, and therefore the power or the authority of their page rank hasn't been as strong. But we've found that if you continually and are consistent with regards to posting content onto these sites, you still will get some kind of strong ranking back to you. An example would be Ezine articles, which is a very popular site, and I use that a lot as well. And a few others, which I'll share with you later, as I said. Now, these are very, very much the general ones that I use. I've got a list of probably about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 places where I can get quality backlinks. But just in the case of this webinar for today, these are just examples I wanted to share with you, because to go through all of them will take quite a bit of time. And as we're limited to only a space of about 45 minutes to an hour, I just want to give you the really crux and the core components that are very important. And these are the ones that we use mostly. The other ones that I mentioned, as I said, there's up to about 10 of them. They can really help as well, but it will take a bit of time, and it is a longer process for those ones. So I wanted to start you off with these ones first. All right, so hopefully you can see just from all these places that we've got, like high PR sites, education, government, blogs, Web 2.0, article directories, it actually helps you rank your site, and you can get traffic from them basically. So these are all free, how do you describe it? These are all free sites where you can post your articles and your blog and all the different things onto there as well. So basically, if you look at those things, those are very much the crux of everything. So what I'm going to do right now is just go into talking about the concept of backlinking and talk about how this strategy works, because if you can see from what I just shared with you, all those things are potentially areas where you can generate and get backlinks from. So I'll just draw a diagram for you. Might just make it easier to do that. So let's say we'll put your niche site in the middle. Okay. Now, as I said, there's a few different areas. Let's just take very generalistic examples. We've got Web 2.0. We've got, say, for example, article directories. And also we've got blogs. And also 2 social network sites. So when I said social networks, Facebook, Twitter, etc. All right. Now, what we're going to try and do in this particular strategy is to pretty much create links back to your site. So let me just pull out the other color pens to describe it to you. The whole idea is we're going to be going out there and, say, for example, hop onto a blog like WordPress, and then from WordPress, create a link and link it straight back to your website. Same thing from Web 2.0, like Squidoo, Hub Pages, etc., and put that link back into it. Article directories, same thing. And social network sites, same thing. Now, I think the question that a lot of people might be asking is, okay, if I just do this, that only creates like 4 links. And it's not very much, because as I said to you, you probably want quality links, and also you want quantity links, which means more and also high quality, which is sufficient enough to get you started. But to actually get you to do hundreds and hundreds of links back to your site and good quality links, you'll need software to do that. And I'll share with you, not in today's tutorial, but next webinar, on how to do that. Because what will happen is that we're going to be using software to be able to actually create more links directly out from other services out here, and basically send them back to these sites that we see here. Okay, which basically forms this whole network of links. And then when we have these links linking back over to here, this diagram is starting to become quite complicated. But to understand this, as I said, is basically you just want to create lots of links back to these hub shields. You don't want to link these ones that we're sending out here back to your niche site, because what will happen is that it will cause you to get a flag from Google, because it's not natural for your site to be ranked on Google with hundreds of links within, say, a week or two. What you want to do is to have, over a period of time, to generate as many links as you can, but spread them out over a period of time. And that's the reason why once we created these hub pages, or these kind of link sites that we have here, like article directories, web 2.0 directories, blogs, etc. These will act as sort of like a shield so that we can send these links back over here. And what will happen is that the link juice that we achieve from, say, for example, here, will get passed on back over to us as well. And that way it's a safe way to create and build backlinks back to your site, which in turn helps you to increase your ranking on Google. All right. Basically, it's just creating like a whole link hub, if you want to just put it that way. And this is pretty much what we're going to be doing. And the whole goal is to just be able to get your niche site, which is going to be starting out on, say, Google at like nothing, to rank it up, say, #1 position. And that's what we've done with our strategy, to be able to get it up to ranking and compete, or to even actually stand out from the crowd. All right, so that's the concept of the whole backlinking strategy. And what I just wanted to obviously share with you was just this, so that you can understand how it all worked. Now, what's important is how we're going to do this. And I'm going to give you sort of a little overview today on what to do. So the first thing is, say, for example, if we're going to be looking to set up a little how do we describe a little hub, if you want to per se, is you just need to go out there and do a little bit of work. And this is where you can do it yourself, as I said before, or as I said, I'll be teaching you about outsourcing. You can teach your virtual assistant to do the same thing. Now, the first thing we probably want to look at doing is getting yourself set up with different accounts. And the first ones that we usually want to get set up firstly is at the article directories. So I'm just going to put over here article directories. Hopefully, if you've written the 5 articles that I asked you to do last week, you should have them available, because what we're going to do is take that article and I'm going to show you what to do to spin it for next week. Because what we're going to do is next week, we're going to start actually submitting these 5 articles with the spun content to all these different article directories. But for this week, what I want you to do, just to get you started, because this does take a bit of time, and as I said, I'm giving you little baby steps to start up, is to set up your accounts. That way, next week, you're prepared to pretty much just start cranking these all out and get them sent out to these article directories. So I don't want to overwhelm you, because I have a list here of about 20 different places where you just got to set these things up, and it will take you a bit of time. You know, it might take you anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes per one of these, so it might take you over an hour and a half to complete this task. All right, so the first one I'd recommend to do is to go to Ezine articles. And what we need to do is to set up an account there. Second one would be Go Articles. Just to recap, to make sure that everybody understands, the whole concept, as I said, is the niche site is here, and we've got, say, for example, part 1 over here, which is article directories. As I mentioned before, it's like a little hub that goes out here. I'm showing you right now, firstly, how to create the accounts that go in these article directories, and then I'll shortly show you how to link them back to your niche site. So, as I mentioned, Go Articles, Article Dashboard, and there's quite a few actually. What I'm thinking, rather than for me to write them all down, I'll put them onto my blog at tyroneshum.com. That will save you a lot of time having to obviously write this all down right now. And I'll make sure that the links are there, so that way you can actually get all of them and just click on them. So what I'll do, let me just quickly now jump into my web browser. And let's just go to, say for example, ezinearticles.com. And as I mentioned, let's just also open up quickest way to lose weight HQ, which is the niche site that I'm ranking for right now. All right, so all of it's currently loading up right now. What we're going to do is that we're just going to review over what's been happening, so that way you can understand what we're planning to do next. So if you have written out 5 different articles for your niche site, you should be able to have them right here available in your blog. And it's been posted over the whole week. And I hope you have been doing that, because I'll be curious to see what people are up to. And it's obviously been coming out once every day. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this content and we're going to apply it into what we call a spinning software. And next week I will actually show you what that spinning software does and how it works and stuff. This week I won't be talking about it because I want you to spend setting up your time. But what will happen is that this spinning software will take your article and allow you to spin it as many times as you want. And we usually recommend to do it roughly about, get 30 spun versions, which allows you to have 30 different articles pretty much on the similar topic, but with different content in there. And so that way we can send these articles out there as unique content to all these different article directories, which is what I've been showing you right now. So hopefully you've got all that done, and as I said, I'll show you what to do there. But the most important thing is, just let's say for example, we'll jump over to Ezine articles submission, and I might do a quick search just to see if I can find myself. We're using a pseudonym or another anonymous name, which is created and made it up for all our marketing. There we go. And we just want to make sure that any of these things that we're putting on the net is related to that one. So I've got a few here that's already been posted. So I'll pull this one out. Actually, let's have a look. Here we go. Body cleansing detox ideas for better self. So what we would have done is we would have gone into these article directories and set up a new account and then posted our article, which I'll show you next week how to do. But the most important thing I'm just wanting to show you right now, so that way you can sort of get an idea is what's happening. See the article that's here, blah, 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 blah. And then right at the end, you'll see down here, it's got 3-day detox headquarters and the link back to our site. Now that's what we're trying to actually achieve, is to get that link. It says 3-day detox and also 3-day detox headquarters. These are the links that we're actually trying to create on our article directories, and they automatically link straight back to our site. Obviously 3-day detox HQ was the one that I did in a challenge with Pat, and basically from there what we've done is that these articles have created links back to our sites automatically as soon as we put these up. And as I mentioned, you've got your niche site over here and you've got your article directory linking back to your niche site. And that's exactly how this process works, as you can see. Now, I'll be showing you how to do that next week, but this week, as I said, is I want you to create accounts. So we'll jump over here. For example, Ezine articles, what you want to do is go over here where it says members login and I'll create yourself a new account. So we'll go back to the main page. Just waiting for that to load up. And as I mentioned, there's about 20 of these different ones. So I'd recommend you firstly go to these sites and just create new accounts. And whether or not you're using a pseudonym or using your real name, put them in as well. And just also to make sure that you've created a separate email address for this as well. You can get access to creating a free email account just specifically for this by just going to mail.google.com and just create a generic email. Might be something like the name of your site. So it'll be like, oh, we don't want to go there. Let me just say for example, you're creating a site called Quickest Way to Lose Weight. So what I would do, just to shorten it anyway, because it's too long for me to type it into, sorry, just do it again. Yeah, because it's just too long to actually type in as the Gmail address, I'll just put the first few letters, Quickest Way, which is QW2Weight at gmail.com. And basically you want to use that email address, say that Gmail address that you can, it's a free one, as I said, to capture any of your accounts that you have created. Because what will happen is that as soon as you create these accounts, more than likely you'll get emails, newsletters, spam, anything from these sites. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. The most important thing is to have these sites or these email addresses just to confirm your email, so that way they can actually set up your account. It's really for confirmation purposes. I don't use my personal or anything like that to be a receiver, because more than likely you'll get a lot of newsletters and stuff from I don't read it. All right, so to set it up, just go over here on the left here. I think here we go. What am I talking? Right up here. So if you see it right up here, it says here create a free membership account right here. And all you have to do is just click on the Join Now button, which allows you to sign up an account. So I'll run through a sample with you, and then after this, I'll run through the rest of the article directory sites. So that way you can see exactly what it needs to do. And as I said, create a generic email, which is what they've asked you here. So I'll just put that in, for example. Gmail.com, QW. Okay, and then password. First name, so I'm using a pseudonym, and then PO box, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And pretty much just fill in everything that you see right here. So you've got all those options, and then fill in your captcha, and then click on create my account. Now what will happen is that it'll send you an email off to that, and then just simply confirm that email and you're up and running to be able to use the Ezine articles account. All right, so that's a very general process, and more than likely when you go through and set up other article directory accounts, such as goarticles.com and all the rest of them, which I'm going to talk about right now, it's pretty much the same process. All right, so this week's homework, which I just want you to focus on, is to get all these accounts set up, because what will happen is that in the next few weeks, we're just going to be using a lot of these to be able to create backlinks and so forth. So let me write down what these are and just share them with you if you want, because you might not get this video until next week. But as I said, I'll give you all these links anyway on my site. The first one I'd recommend doing is go to ezinearticles.com. Second one is goarticles.com. Third one is amazines.com. In actual fact, it might be quicker for me just to type them up here so you can watch them and see what will happen. Okay, just put a text box here. There we go. Let's change the font color so that way you can see it. It's in white. There you go. All right. Hope people can see this. This should make it a lot easier for you. So as I said, Ezine articles. .com. goarticles.com. I'll just expand it out for you so you can see that as well. Obviously don't want to just have it on the side here. And align to left. There we go. We've also got Amazon.com, article dashboard.com. Feel free to write these down while I'm typing them up, because that way you can see exactly where to go to set these up, because as I said, this is going to be something that you could do over the weekend up for next tutorial as well. And if you do already have a virtual assistant, get her to set them up for you on these different accounts, because it can be very, very time saving, and that way you can actually get yourself ahead of it. Because the next step that I'll be talking about is to actually get set up on the social bookmarking sites as well, and also Web 2.0 sites. So article Q. And also to article depot.uk.co.uk and articlerich.com. Alright, so those are just a few of them that we've got here. And I think, here we go. And if I got three more that I can share with you as well. That way you can sort of just get started on a few of these account setups. Snatch.com and ultimate article directory. As you can see, there's quite a lot of article directories that are available all across the internet, and they are there for a reason, so that way you can actually use them and set up your accounts. All right, so feel free to write these down, because if you don't have this until Monday, because that's when I post this webinar replay back up, you can get started on this over the weekend. So set those things up. Now I'm going to suggest a few more as well, not article directories, but to also go to these following sites as well to set them up, because it will make a difference and help you for next week. So something like squidoo.com, hub pages.com, also to WordPress.com, and also Weebly. And thanks to Tim for that. That was a good one. Weebly.com. So also set those accounts up as well. Pretty much this week for your homework task is just to set up accounts, because the most important thing is once these accounts have been set up, you are ready to pretty much roll the ball for next week, because next week's will be getting these articles into these directories and start to build those backlinks up. And then hopefully within that same webinar, I'll be able to show you exactly how to build up more and more of those backlinks using this software that we've got. All right, so that's pretty much it on today's webinar. I just wanted to run through with you regards to all these sites, so that way you can get started, and hopefully you can take these away and just implement them into your into your niche site. Now, let me just do a quick recap of what we've talked about today. So in today's session, we talked about what is backlinking, and you saw exactly how this can potentially work for you. And in the meantime, if you do have questions, feel free to put them on the right hand side, because I'll answer them after this as well. So I talked about what is backlinking, where to find quality backlinks, and that's where I showed you all those different sites, such as Web 2.0s, blogs, article directories, and also all the educational government sites. Then I shared with you the strategy on how we've been able to build up links. And this strategy is something that Pat, myself, and a few other people have been doing and using, and it's worked successfully. And the reason why is because it's just a simple strategy which you just continuously follow. It is something that you can outsource, which is what I've done. I've given my virtual assistant to do all this, and she basically just does these repetitive backlink building processes for me on a day-to-day basis. So that way we can build up all these backlinks to our site. So that was pretty much it. And then lastly, I shared with you the article directories that I want you to set up accounts at. To set up. So pretty much for this week's homework is I want you to go through and set up all accounts. Now, when you looked at it, you must think, oh, it doesn't seem that much. But guarantee me, with life and everything that goes on, you most likely come back to me next week. If you haven't done it, I can say to you, look, I didn't give you very much work to do for this week. But that's all I want you to focus on, because if I start giving you other things to do, such as submissions to article directories and also content spinning, I can guarantee you'll probably get overwhelmed. So I just want to give you little baby steps, and this is one very simple baby step that you can do. As I said, it might take you anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes to set up each account. And it doesn't take too long. It's just a process. All right. So that's pretty much your homework for this week. And I just want you to take action on that. All right. Now I'm going to take some questions and answers, because I'm going to open up the line to allow for a bit of time for you to ask me questions if you've got anything that you are pretty much stuck on and need assistance with. So feel free, as I said, to put any questions in the site, and I'm going to go through them right now. Let's have a look. Must be PR 100. Okay. Okay, Tim's just made a little bit of a comment previously at the beginning of the course saying that Google's probably a PR 100, which is not possible, but PR 10 is I think what Google is at the moment. Excuse me. So Terry W's got a question. So you'll link on other sites like in signature files. Okay, good point there. Actually, you raised up. I was going to talk about that. One of the things that you can get some really good backlinks from is forums. And it is possible to just go to a high PR forum and basically just get, I'll put signature of your site, can't spell today, inside your profile. And I will share with you this a little bit later in the next webinar, or the following webinar after that. The reason being is because this is another strategy which I don't want to overwhelm you with, because there's a lot of strategies here. As I showed you, there's probably at least 8 or 10 of them, but I just want you to start with the first one, which is to do article directory submissions. That way, at least you get the ball rolling and it can accomplish something, rather than look at all this and go, oh, where do I start? So that's definitely a good thing, and thanks for raising that up. If you do want to use that strategy, you can. I'll just close that up. Great. And other link sites to your site. Yep, that's right. Okay. So the question is right now, Terry says he lives in Whitsundays. We're getting 250 mils of rain. It's raining heavily. I can't even hear you with headphones. I'll catch the replay, mate. Many thanks. No problem. Great. Thanks for letting me know, Terry. I'll definitely put the replay up so that way you can see it as well. Okay. Sorry, nothing to do with backlinks, but what is the status bar plugin that shows PageRank and Alexa ranking? Excellent question, Dave. Let me just show you what it is. The actual plugin that I use, you can probably see it down the bottom here. If not, let me just pull it up for you. And it's called Search Status, which is just right there. It's, I think, only available for Firefox, but I'll just double check for you, but I'll do a quick search. And that easily shows you what the PageRank and Alexa ranking is for any site. So I think it's called Search Status Firefox. There we go. All right, so that's the plugin. Search Status add-on for Firefox. That's the one I use, and it tells you exactly what the PageRank and Alexa ranking is as well. There is also a few other ones that that Tim suggested. It's called quirk.biz. Let me just have a quick look for you. That's another option. Oh, There you go. Actually, it is the same thing, isn't it? Yeah, it is, Tim. Okay. Well, yeah, so search status is the one I use, and that works out really well. It's very easy, just comes up at the bottom, and you're most welcome to use that. And QuickBiz, I think, is the name of that company. Excellent. Thanks for that, Tim. Question from Mark. Do we want to create backlinks on all these article directories pointing to our website, or do we want to point some towards each other? Great question. Okay, this is the thing, which is what I was going to actually share with you in the next session. But there's a reason why we don't point every single one of these backlinks back to our site. Let me just share with you what to do. So let's just take a look at your niche site again. Say we've got article directory 1. I'll just call AD1 over here. We've got AD2 over here. And we've got AD3. You can obviously have hundreds of these. What you want to do is, the first one is to put one link back to your site, each from each article directory. Then what you want to do is to actually link one of the articles back to your other article directories. Now, you don't want to link these back to each other. Just have it as a continuous cycle. So that way it doesn't close. You do not want to close these. You just can continue to link it. So you have one link coming from the article directory back to your site, another one linking to another article directory article that you've got. And that's all you need. You don't need to create 10 of these to different ones, because what will happen is when I show you the next phase, you'll have hundreds of these sites linking back to this article directory, and same thing as well. So you don't really need to worry too much about that process there. But the most important thing is just to get these links there. Okay. So it's a backlink wheel. Yes, that's exactly right. Very much like that. That's the whole concept. And this strategy isn't new. You know, it's been around for many, many years. And the person who's, I think, talked about this in his 40-day challenge was Dan Archibald, I think it is. So yeah, he's discussed this inside the Warrior Forum, and we basically took the strategy and implemented it and tested it and basically tweaked it from there. But the whole concept is very much the same thing. And it's been working really well for us, but as long as you do it on a spread out basis, a basis where it doesn't happen all overnight or all over one day, then it works really well. So that's where I'm going to share with you some software on how to do that. That way you can just create your content, submit it out to this software, and basically it does the work for you. Okay. All right. So I think that's pretty much it with regards to the questions for today. If there's no other questions, I'm going to wrap up the call today. So that way you guys can go off and start to do all this. And I do appreciate you coming onto the call tonight, taking a bit of your time out on a late evening to come and listen to me to show you how to implement this traffic strategy. Definitely next week, it will be really, really full on, because I will be showing you showing you the whole process of how to actually go about doing this repetitive process, because not only will you be submitting to article directories, I'll show you how to set it up and also submitting it out over to all the other social networks. And yes, Mark is definitely right. It looks like an assistant can be used in this process, and absolutely, you know, if you can hire a virtual assistant now, this is the best time to get them to implement it, because this stuff is very, very much repetitive. And as I've said, I use my virtual assistant. She sets up all my accounts. She sets up all the email addresses, posts all the articles out there for me, and then also to make sure that she puts in the correct links as well. So, you know, it's enough work to keep it going pretty much on a full-time basis. And that way you can generate income from these sites as well. And obviously towards the end of this whole course, I'll be showing you how to monetize as well. Okay. And yeah, David says, should you keep building links after getting to number 1? Yes, you don't need to do it as often, because what we used to do when we first started, we'd do it every day. But as you've reached number 1, probably once every week, once every 2 weeks, you can build this, and it'll maintain it basically. So yeah, that's a good question there. Excellent. All right. Well, I just wanted to share with you as well one last thing. Next week, as I mentioned, I'll be talking about the traffic generation part 2, which I'll be going into quite a lot of detail and showing exactly which other sites to post to, how to do it, and also to how to get those backlinks, and then also finding out from Market Samurai how to track where you're heading and see where you're situated in terms of ranking along with your keyword. So definitely come back for that one. That one's going to be a very much hands-on practical session, and I'll make sure that you'll get a lot of things to do. But this week, focus on just trying to get these accounts set up, and come back next week for that. Now, the following week after that, which will be week 7, I think it is. Yeah, week 7. This would be week 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7. I'll be actually away overseas. So that week, I won't be running a webinar, and I'll basically let everybody know. So after I come back from a 1 week break off, I'll definitely be jumping straight back into it. And hopefully by then we'll be looking at some optimization and monetization strategies from there. So everyone, just wanted to thank you so much again for coming onto the call tonight. And it was really, really great to be able to see you here again. And yeah, all the best for the rest of the week, and just keep taking these little baby steps and stay focused. So thanks again, and I'll see you next week. My name's Tyron Shum. Bye for now.